Hello everyone, welcome to NASCAR News Kid. The NASCAR Cup Series just wrapped up the first ever All-Star race at Dover Motor Speedway in Dover, Delaware. The first ever race there at the Monster Mile. And Miles the Monster delivered. I don't know where we start with this race. Coming in, we were all confused, looking at NASCAR, staring at them like, why are we bringing the All-Star race to Dover? But yes, Miles the Monster, Dover Motor Speedway, delivered with the All-Star race. Where do we start? I guess let's start out with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, we all know how much of an accomplished, well-rounded racer he is. Obviously, he's still looking for that championship. He's won so many great races. The Daytona 500 3 times. The Southern 500 3 times. The Coke 600. The All-Star race. And today, coming in, he was the favorite. Because the last 2 times they went to Dover Motor Speedway, Denny Hamlin has won. And he's won in great fashion. He's won most cases by dominating. He's been great at Dover the past few years, and there was no reason for him not to be the favorite. And today, he proved that he was the real deal. He is the favorite to win at Dover. He got his second career All-Star race win, and just won yet again at Dover. 3 Dover race wins in a row. That is absolutely wild. And like I said, second career All-Star race win, his first one coming 11 years ago in 2015, and he was absolutely phenomenal. Led 103 of 200 total laps in that final 100 lap segment, or 200 lap segment, and was no doubt the car to beat from the start of qualifying. Well, not the start of qualifying, because he had a spin before his qualifying effort, but had the best qualifying run, and ever since then, he was gone. He won the pole for segment 1, like I said, led a good portion of that, and his team executed really well. Really good pit stops as always, and it came down to that long run that the race did, and veteran driver Denny Hamlin saving his tires, and he picked up the win. Surely did what he does best and won. Great weekend overall for them. Just super phenomenal for Denny Hamlin to get that $1 million. And again, that whole group, they performed really well from the start of the weekend. And just absolutely phenomenal. He has the most wins at Dover of active drivers now in the NASCAR Cup Series. Pretty great stat. Just shows that he is phenomenal at Dover. But let's get to results here. Full All-Star race results. Denny Hamlin, we talked about him. Chase Briscoe comes home second, really, as the segments, as the whole event rolled on. Chase Briscoe, his car just seemed to get better, and, yeah, he was really the only real challenger in the end to Denny Hamlin. Momentum starting to build. Maybe he can start to roll on through the summer and get this momentum rolling. Usually guys, if they have a good all-star race, they can get it rolling. So maybe that's the situation for Chase Briscoe, but we will have to see. Third for Eric Jones. Really good from the start of qualifying. Like top 5 qualifying, I think. If I'm not wrong. Great all weekend. Just really good weekend for Eric Jones. The very, very pleasant surprise for Eric Jones. Really good result, really good weekend. Fourth for Austin Dillon. Very solid, clean race. Just quiet. Fifth for Connor Zilic. He ran top 5. I mean, he was one of the transfers that weren't locked in, and he had really good first 2 segments, which got him to, I believe, a top 5, 5th starting position in the final segment, and was top 5 through the start until he got a penalty. Too many men over the wall on pit road, and but even then, he came back and got P5. Really good race for them. 6th for Austin Cindric. 7th for William Byron. He showed pretty good pace, probably his best race of the season, to be honest. Ran second for a portion of the event, so really good for them. 8th, Michael McDowell, really solid as well. Momentum from Watkins Glen, probably some contributing factor to Michael McDowell's strong run. 9th for Alex Bowman, not as great as we expected Dover. Statistically, this is like one of his best tracks, if not his best track. But, yeah, just quiet. Nothing to say much from him. 10th for Brad Keselowski. He started second, but had a really decent, clean race. 11th for Noah Gragson. Pretty good race for them as well. 12th for AJ Allmendinger, very quiet. He led laps in segment 2, so good for him. 13th for Blaney. We'll talk about him in a moment, that's for sure. 14th for Hostevar, pretty mediocre all-star race. 15th, Ty Dillon, pretty good for him as well for making the all-star race, first time in the main event. 16th for Ricky Stenhouse. He spun in qualifying, but clean otherwise. 17th for Kyle Busch. We'll talk about what brought his day to where it ended. He was top 10 for qualifying and the first portion of segment 1, so good for him. 18th for Josh Berry, really quiet, not much to say from him as well. 19th for SVG, he was up front in segment 2 when they inverted the field, but aside from that, I mean, nothing much to say. He did spin, but yeah, quiet otherwise for him. 20th for Bubba Wallace. We'll talk about him as well. He had some damage in the end. 21st for Daniel Suarez. He was the fan vote winner, so good for him, but really quiet day. And then the DNFs or issues that took them out of the race. 22nd for Tyler Reddick. He won segment 2. He had a pretty good pace, but had a steering issue in the final 50, 60 laps to go, which definitely stinks for them. 23rd for Christopher Bell, had a handling issue, disappointing weekend overall. And then 24th for Gibbs, suspension issue, same for him. 25th for Joey Logano, had a tire issue, which took them out, had some damage, so disappointing again for them. And 26th for Kyle Larson, just a weekend to forget for them. Just really quiet, and what got wrecked in the early parts of segment 1, and we're going to talk about that right now, which really took them out for the rest of the event. There was an opening wreck in segment 1, where Ryan Preece was starting to come down the track to try to get a good entry to turn number 1, and Larson was slowly moving up, while Todd Gilliland was just the sandwich. He was in the middle, and just Larson spun, Preece spun, and Preece had a hard hit into the wall, and his car actually caught fire. Looked like the fire came from the gas can, because he had a back impact on that crash, so the rear of the car took a really hard hit for Ryan Preece. Man, Ryan Preece. Why does he always have the big crashes? Why Ryan Preece? But, yeah, glad everyone was okay for that one. And then there was a crash in the closing laps of segment 1 as well. Riley Herbst got loose off of turn 4, and Alex Bowman had some contact with him, which helped ignite that crash. So, really disappointing for them. And that crash collected many, many drivers as well. Christopher Bell, Nemechek, Elliott Bush, which was what took a toll on Bush's day. Busher and a few others. So yeah, just disappointing in that as well. Took out some great contenders. And, segment 2 had SVG Gibbs spin by themselves in separate incidents. Also, there was an incident with Brad Keselowski. He was spinning down the backstretch, and Chastain got some damage, as well as Bubba Wallace. Before that, Wallace had a really fast car, and looked like maybe a possible contender, but got taken out just a little too early. Segment 1, by the way, that incident, Blaney and Larson were involved in that. Took a real toll on their cars. It definitely brought down their day, but Blaney, his team was impressive. They basically rebuilt the bumper on that car, and came home with a 14th place finish, or 13th place finish for Ryan Blaney. So really good for them, despite the challenges they had. Segment 1 was won by Bubba Wallace, and segment 2 was won by Tyler Reddick. Now let's get to some fast facts before we wrap this thing up. The final 200 laps, there were 9 lead changes among 5 different drivers. There were 2 cautions for 14 laps, one of them by cause, the other by that planned around or at or around lap 75 all-star caution, and then the other was for Joey Logano. It looked like a tire issue. Got him spun around. And then segment 1, like I said, Wallace. Segment 2, Reddick. Daniel Suarez won the fan vote of the guys that could still make the race and weren't already in and weren't already taken out. So that was good for him. Anyway, this All-Star weekend, like I said at the beginning, we thought NASCAR was crazy, but I guess Miles the Monster proved us wrong. Why didn't we think Miles the Monster coming in? Yeah, really good weekend overall for NASCAR. Lots of chaos. Unfortunately, good contenders were taken out, but did make things interesting for sure. Overall, I'd say, again, really good weekend. Last weekend for NASCAR on Fox. Next week, we head to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 longest race of the year with Prime, Amazon Prime, now going to serve for the next 5 races, and the Indianapolis 500, so it should be a great weekend. I can't wait. That will do it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, why not smash that like button down below. If you're new to the channel, you like these kind of race review every single week, I would consider subscribing, and yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you after the Coke 600. Bye, everyone.